Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Alexis. I am a disabled powerlifter from Pennsylvania and an exclusive athlete with Buffbunny Collection. Today, I am so honored to be a part of this and present to y'all the 10 collection, or a lot of people were saying X, Roman numeral for 10, whatever. But this is the 10-year anniversary of Buffbunny Collection being a company. But I wanted to start off by saying thank y'all so much for always supporting me, whether it be liking this video, sharing it, making a nice comment, or following me over on Instagram and showing me some love over there. It is because of y'all that I'm almost at 30,000 followers, which I know is not a lot of followers in the world of content creators, but for someone who started off with 124 followers when I won the Buffbunny Collection model search, to grow this large is kind of amazing. My community of support, and I just want to say thank y'all for being a part of that. Whatever the circumstances are, I appreciate you for even just being here and watching this video. Before we dive into everything, I do want to point out that I'm pretty much doing a voiceover for this entire review video. It's just something that I'm trying to play around with and trying to save myself more time. I know there has been a lot of buzz about the 10 collection celebratory 10-year anniversary, and I think what I initially thought is what the community was thinking as well. I would have loved to see a lot of OG top-selling items that us in the community know and love come back in so many different beautiful colors, but I think the Buffbunny Collection team really wanted to pay homage to a certain set, and I think they wanted to do large prints that really pay homage in a classy way. Black, gray, white are neutral colors that are timeless. So I think that's sort of the element that I am seeing and how to explain it to y'all and their vision of what they brought to the table for this 10 collection. So we do have a good array of fabrics, different styles. Honestly, this collection is screaming streetwear, so I personally am excited to see a lot of streetwear. If you are not a part of the Buffbunny Collection BB Girls group chat, which is a broadcast channel for Buffbunny Collection to learn all the things Buffbunny Collection, whether it is new and upcoming collections, PDF information on all of the pieces, essential dates, different community events, or you want to get early access shopping like 15 minutes before a collection may launch, then head over to Instagram. You can join the Buffbunny Collection broadcast channel there, and we have a lot of fun over there. I am the community cheerleader, and I definitely help out in the comment section, and I do take a lot of y'all's feedback and try to relay it to the team. So definitely head over there. Heidi, the CEO, spills the beans all the time, so Buffbunny herself is definitely present over there, and you can get to connect with us as a community. Speaking of the broadcast channel and relating it to Project 10, it has been really fun for Heidi, the team, and myself to be reading all of y'all's throwback memories, your first fits, your favorite collection over the years, and it just brought back so many memories of so much excitement, and it has been really nice to read back and go, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh, do I still have that piece? Oh my god, when did we do like a front rise? It's just really cool to be able to see that. So definitely thank you for participating, and I think we all enjoyed a trip down memory lane. I have been an exclusive athlete with Buffbunny Collection for almost 3 years now, and I started off my journey with them not because I won the model search. So fun fact, the model search was a kind of like a sweepstakes for community members to really encourage them to put themselves out there. When I won the model search, it was by way of public voting. You submit a video explaining your favorite word and why. Mine is perseverance, and I wanted to keep mine very positive and uplifting, and by the grace of God and all of y'all community members who voted for me, I ended up winning the Buffbunny Collection model search. So on my model search trip, where I got to fly down to Houston and meet Heidi and the entire Buffbunny Collection team, I learned that social media is not just wearing cute clothes, looking cute, and selling stuff. It really can encourage people who are just like you, people who may hide themselves and their limitations or things they're not proud of all the time, really encourage them to put themselves out there and to find other people to relate to resonate with, and just share commonalities and also just uplift each other. And that trip really changed my mindset when it comes to social media. Growing my platform was never in the cards for me, was never on my bingo card. Like I said, it started off with 124 followers, and I never thought that I would be doing this. It's a great side gig and source of income, yeah, but it has also allowed me to become a national board member and advocate for disabled people to compete on the platform. So I'm very thankful for that, and I want to say thank you to everyone who supported me along the way. It's something that I have been struggling with lately. It's never easy trying to get into a powerlifting competition being disabled. There's not really a category or a division, a specific space for me to compete in that is equitable, that is fair, and where I can actually rank and potentially go to larger competitions, not just, local, but regional, state, or national level. There is no federation that has a database that allows disabled people to compete against people with similar limitations. What I'm trying to do is create more of a database, more inclusion, where all the different weight classes and all the different age groups that are mimicked from the regular powerlifters can be transferred over to adaptive athletes, and then have subcategories within the adaptive athlete division that states that, hey, people who are going to compete against people who are like them. I don't think it's fair competition space for me simply needing like some gripping aids to compete against someone who's in a wheelchair. I don't think it's fair for us to have to deadlift against each other when someone is missing a leg. I have become an advocate and a national board member for the United States of America Powerlifting Federation. So to be able to sit at a table and explain limitations and why people need equitable, fair competition spaces is essential to me, and I'm very thankful to be able to do that. But until USAPL creates those subdivisions, I cannot compete with them because I don't think it's fair for me to compete with other people who have varying degrees of more severe limitations, let's be honest. So I am going to compete with Powerlifting America. They have allowed me to compete in the normal lifting open with everybody else, which is always controversial because in the past I have been called a cheater. I outlifted 4 other women in my weight class, and I ended up not being eligible to win best in my weight class because one of the women complained that I was cheating and using assisted gripping aids. Whatever. But it's always like very anxiety filled going into a competition space, not just because, okay, it's a competition space, but because I'm literally not like anybody else, and I'm not like everybody's out to get me, but it's just a nerve-wracking experience, and I really hope everybody treats me with respect and is inviting, and the sport should be inclusive. The sport should be celebratory to all different bodies stepping onto the platform. So wish me luck. September 5th is my powerlifting competition, so hopefully everything will go well. It is because of Heidi and the Buffbunny Collection brand that I am more bold and that I am more brave to share myself online. Yeah, there's a lot of haters and I have a lot of people who make fun of my hands and the way God made me, but ultimately I know my purpose and I know my mission to use my platform and be that representation that I didn't have when I was growing up. So it is because of the brand that I'm here, and I truly thank y'all for being here every step of the way, or if you're new here, thank you for supporting me and just watching this video. I apologize that I can't do more to really commemorate the 10-year anniversary and go give you my first impressions and throwbacks of the brand, but just know that I'm very thankful to be here, just like all of y'all, in celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Buffbunny Collection, and cheers to many, many more years of them being a women-owned, women-based community, supporting other women, and I'm just very thankful to be here, so appreciate y'all. All right, all that aside, my measurements are listed in the description box below, and I do have timestamps. That way y'all can skip around to your favorite items, and I hope that y'all get all of your questions answered. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is the Spice Mesh Sports Bra. This is made of Spice Mesh material, and it is very stretchy in the horizontal direction, but not in the vertical direction for this bra. I do want to warn y'all that those holes can line up so you can see your skin tone underneath it. It is fully reversible. You can remove the tag. There's a very thin elastic band that runs all throughout the bottom of the bust, but it's not to hold you in or give you any support. It's really just to combine those two pieces of fabric. There is some contrast piping on the side. It's made of a cotton-like material, Buffbunny branding that is painted on, and it feels kind of rough. In the center, there is a scrunch feature with an elastic band and a nice quality metal fastener where you can cinch this into place and give yourself a little bit more cleavage. The back band is straight across, and it's just the doubly lined Spice Mesh material. There is a wide elastic band encased in the Spice Mesh fabric, and it is stitched into place with this contrast stitching, which I thought was a nice feature, and then a smaller elastic band for the straps that go over your shoulders. On the reverse side, there is no piping, but just the stitching that keeps the Spice Mesh material together, black showing in the center, and that's about it. For general measurements, the bottom width is coming in a little over 14.5 inches, across the chest a little over 15.5 inches, the total front rise height about 6 inches. When scrunched, the very center about 2 inches, the lat coverage about 4.5 inches, the very back about 3.5 inches, the back band about 6 inches and 1 inch wide, and then I guess like the shoulder straps that go into the back strap about 11 inches, but then total length of the straps is going to be 19 inches front to back. This does not look flattering on my body type. I don't think it's giving me any support, but if I cinch it in, it gives me a little bit of a cleavage moment, which is just a tiny bit more flattering on my body type. There is absolutely no support. It is a very stretchy, and because the straps are pretty long, again, it's like minimal support. There is no tightness in the back. It just kind of lays on top of my skin. This can definitely pill, but it's great to wick away sweat. I definitely think that this is going to be more loungewear sports bra, and you can definitely size down as the spice mesh fabric is just really stretchy. The only two things that I'm not crazy about is number one, there's not any like underbust support, and number two, I do think it runs quite a bit big just because that spice mesh material is pretty stretchy. So for anybody wanting to wear this for like lounging or like a cute streetwear fit, I think it would be really good for you. It's just not really in my preference, but wanted to review it for y'all. This is the Limitless sports bra, returning with quite a few changes. So it does have a V neckline made of airbrush fabric, so it's a sleek, high performance, minimal stretch, so it's really high compression and support. It comes with bust pads and slits on the sides. It features this reflective detailing that runs along the neckline and the Buffbunny branding, as well as around the keyhole opening. The inner straps go into the keyhole opening, and then the outer straps go straight down into a wider back band. I want to compare it to the last time we saw the Limitless sports bra. These are both a size large, the same strappy back designs, but whereas there is laser cut holes in the original around the keyhole opening and the neckline, the newer one has the reflective. The older one has a thicker, more compressive lining on the inside, an airbrush feel to it, honestly. And then the newer one has a much thinner inner liner, so it feels a lot lighter weight. The original has a wide elastic band encased in the airbrush fabric. The newer one has a much smaller, thinner elastic band that is encased, but it almost looks hidden or sleek from the outside. So I think it's not going to be as supportive as the old. And for general comparisons, the older one is a little bit higher rise on the side. It is a little bit wider overall. The front rise height is actually a tiny bit shorter compared to the new one. The new one actually has a little bit more chest coverage, only top of the bust, but not on the sides. And then in the back, it is just a little bit shorter for the back coverage. Measuring the straps, the older one actually has shorter straps. So the newer ones are about 2 inches longer, which is a trend that we've been seeing with all sports bras this year. And then the inner strap is of course a little bit longer compared to the older one by 2 inches as well. And for general measurements, the bottom width is coming in at about a little over 13 inches. Across the chest, 14.5 inches. Front rise height, about 5 1/4 inch. Side rise height, a little under 4 inches. Back rise height underneath the keyhole, about 2 inches. And then the under lat coverage is about 3.5 inches. This is flattering, but I don't think it's as supportive as I would have liked it to be, because I do think the straps run a little bit too long, and then you kind of lose a little bit of support that way. I am liking the V neckline. I think it looks really good on my flatter chest profile and wide frame. The lat coverage, even though it's medium height, the band is pretty tight on my lats and you can see some bulging, but the sides are digging into me a little bit. I'm going to put other features and details over here on the side, and overall I'm going to have to rank this an 8.5 out of 10. Number one, the straps are just too long. Number two, I do think it runs a little bit small because it's digging into my sides quite a bit. And then number three, I do wish that it had an elastic band in the bottom. That way it could just give you a little bit more support, but overall I really like it. I actually think it's a nice bra, so I'm going to exchange it for a bigger size. First up, we have the Micro Revolution Sports Bra. Be very similar to the OG Revolution Sports Bra, just without that little bit of extra fabric towards the bottom. This is made of Nubri fabric, so it's buttery soft, stretchy in all four directions, and there's a square neckline with a halter looking strap that goes into a multi-lattice crisscross structure. I'm not gonna lie, I was not impressed with this. Trying it on, the strap just popped on me, so I don't know if I just got a dud or what, but that didn't leave a very good impression. But in the back, the white straps do make an X to pay homage to the 10-year Buffbunny Collection anniversary. The silicone branding of Buffbunny does come with removable bust pads that you can remove from the inside. I want to compare this to the regular Revolution sports bra and show y'all the difference. So first off, of course, it doesn't have that added longer length piece of fabric. And on the Micro Revolution, there actually is an elastic band that is encased, or it's inside of the Newbury fabric folded over it. On the OG one, that elastic band is actually there. It's just that it's brushed and it sits on top of the fabric rather than having the Newbury fabric folded over it like what we see in the Micro. Side rise height, it is just a little bit shorter compared to the regular Revolution sports bra. So Micro Revolution sports bra really means it's going to be a little bit more of a petite fitting Revolution sports bra without the extra bit of fabric on the bottom. Back rise height for both of these is actually about the same. The strap on the original is about 10 inches long for the outermost strap, and the strap for the newest one is about 11.5 inches on the outer strap. So longer straps have definitely been the trend of this year. General measurements for the bottom width is 14 inches, across the chest about 15.5 inches, the square neckline about 9 inches wide, the front rise height about 5.5 inches, but including the elastic waistband about 6 inches, the strap about 1 inch, and then the back rise height total about 2 inches. Super disappointing with that strap. I'm actually really liking the more micro-fitting Revolution sports bra on my body type because I have a smaller bust size and a larger, wider frame. So I think it does fit me pretty well. Although it doesn't have high lat coverage, this swoops down and hits at a good spot where I'm not feeling it digging into my back fat or being unflattering on my wider lats. That back bottom band is pretty comfortable. Those straps are just a little bit too long for my liking. I don't think it was necessary to make them so long. Honestly, minimal compression and support because the straps are just so long, and the Newbury fabric again is just feeling a little bit thinner and stretchier. I also just think this runs a little bit too big. So in terms of sizing, I would definitely say size down. You can see the back band isn't even digging into me, so I think you should definitely size down. Overall, I'm gonna have to rank this a 8.5 out of 10 because number one, the quality. Maybe I got a dud, but just didn't leave a good impression. Number two, the straps are just a little bit too long. Number three, Newbury fabric is just feeling a little bit thinner and stretchier. This is a really nice Micro Revolution short line sports bra alternative, and I would actually recommend. So I'm going to return this and try to size down and then see how that works out. This is the Colorado Fleece sports bra. I unfortunately do not have the one from the Summit collection, which is the last time we saw it, to compare to, but I'm going to go over the general features pretty quickly. This is made of Colorado Fleece fabric, so it is a high support and compression fabric, barely any stretch to it because it is doubly lined. It's definitely a cool weather type of sports bra because it is fleece lined. It is high coverage, rounded neckline, racer back design, and on this side, which is the matte side, there is velvet contouring added to it on the under bust, around the straps, the Buffbunny branding, and around the back with the racer back design. On the inside bottom, there is an elastic band that just sits right on top of that layer to give you a little bit of extra support underneath your bust, but it is a little robust in feeling, and I do find it to be a little bit itchy. On the inside, there is that fleece lining, which is nice and warm and feels really nice and soft on the skin, and this does come with removable bust pads. For general measurements, the bottom band width is coming in about 15 inches, across the mid chest 15.5 inches, front rise height total a little over 6 inches, minus an inch for that elastic band. Side rise height at the seam is about 5 inches, that back band coverage 3.5 inches, the width of the racer back about 2 inches, and the total back rise height is about 12 inches. I'm really liking these contour lines on the Colorado Fleece sports bra, an added element of sporty athleticism to the bra. I'm glad I did size up to an extra large because when I last tried it on from the Summit collection, it was pretty tight. This is a very minimal stretch sports bra, high compression, high support, and as you can tell here, the bottom elastic band really doesn't have a whole lot of give. I'm actually really surprised that the straps were not let out by 1.5 inches. This entire collection seems as though all the straps are pretty long, which has kind of been a trend from Buffbunny collection lately, so the straps are fitting a little snug The side and lat coverage is about medium, but because the fabric doesn't have a whole lot of give and it's doubly lined, I do have bulging in my lat area, even though this is a size extra large. I like that the underside does have that fleecy feeling, definitely a cool weather sports bra. I'm gonna have the other details on the side. In terms of sizing, definitely stay true to size or size up if you have a wider frame like me, or if you want this to be a little bit more forgiving in size. Solid 8.5 out of 10 because number one, it does run small. That elastic in the bottom band is a little abrasive, a little uncomfortable. And the third thing I'm not crazy about is that the straps are a little tight. I'm surprised on this bra they were not let out. But overall, for a cold weather, high compression, high support sports bra, very high quality fabric feel, this is definitely it. This is the reversible jersey. Looks like a super cute basketball jersey. It is made of spice mesh fabric, so it is slightly stretchy and it is more of a dense, heavy fabric. It has a bottom rounded hemline and it is fully reversible. I do want to point out that the spice mesh fabric can line up where the holes, you can see your skin color underneath it. The neckline, arm openings, as well as the slits on the side are made of a jersey knit, stretchy, ribbed fabric that has a white lining all throughout. Graphics are a kind of hard feeling like paint material. On the back side, it's pretty simple. I do want to point out that all throughout the bottom, this is actually two separate pieces, so that way it kind of flows. On the reverse side, it's pretty simple and it has less graphics, but the contrasting on the neckline and the arms actually comes from the other side where that jersey knit fabric is just kind of peeking through. And then you can also see that on the slits on the sides. Again, the graphics feel a little bit rough, but for general measurements, this is coming in at about 23.5 inches wide at the bottom, across the mid waist, about the same 23.5 inches, right underneath the armpits or across the chest, about 21.5 inches. Total front rise is going to be about 18.5 inches. The side length is going to be 9.5 to 10 inches. Not that it really matters, but from here to here, about 12 inches. The neck opening is about 6.5 inches, and then the total back rise height is about 22 inches. The back width of the racer back about 12 inches, and then the front width, about the same, about 12.5 inches. I sized up to an extra large and I do think it runs true to size. It looks just a little bit oversized on me now, but I'm loving the graphics to 10-year homage and the branding along with the contrast on the lining, large armhole opening where you can see your sports bra. Let's see it on the other side. Boop. So on the white side, I love that you can see the contrast of the black jersey lining. This is definitely reminding me of Everlast, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I definitely think it's true to size. You could potentially size down if you want it to be a little bit more fitted because that fabric is stretchy. It is going to catch and snag things, and it's a little bit of a heavier weight jersey because it is doubly lined. But overall, and a lot of the athletes have been tucking the front in to make it look like a nice sports bra, but that is a little stylist moment. Overall, really happy with this jersey, and I'm going to have to rank it a solid 9 out of 10. The only two things I'm not really crazy about is number one, I do wish that the sides came up just a little bit higher and that this came in different length options. So I will be returning this and getting a size medium, so sizing down to see if it looks a little bit more fitted and cropped. But if you want it to be oversized like this, by all means. But yeah, very solid, high quality, elevated, girly NBA kind of jersey from Buffbunny Collection. It's definitely giving Lola Bunny from Space Jam, so love it. This is the reversible bomber jacket. It is fully reversible and has lots of great details, very high quality. It's made of Colorado fabric and it has a lot of layers to it. So it is a very warm weather, dense, heavy kind of jacket. This is hip length, but once you put it on, because of the cinching and the jersey fabric in the center, it might slide up and look a little bit more cropped fit. But the cuffs, the neckline, and the bottom are all made of this knit jersey, stretchy cotton-like fabric that has these two contrasting lines, which I think adds a nice elevated look to it. The pockets are lined with the Colorado fleece fabric and they are a large triangular kind of shape. Going into the details, the zipper is reversible and there is a locking hidden zipper, dyed to match metal hardware, and embroidered Buffbunny branding. And the center of this side is fleece lined, and then the bottom panel as well as the sleeves are going to be that slick matte outside
Colorado fleece feeling. So the center is that inside Colorado fleece feeling. And you can see that a little bit more apparent on the back. On the flip side, the all black side, matte feeling Colorado outside. The zipper on this side is not hidden, but it is dyed to match. And again, it is a locking type zipper. Velvet Buffbunny circular branding. There is no contrasting lines on this side. It is just all black on that jersey fabric. And the pocket is lined with fleece. And you can see a little peekaboo of the fleece there. But the center of this is the outside fabric feeling of Colorado matte. And the sleeves are the underside fleece feeling of Colorado fabric. For general measurements, the bottom band is coming in at about 18.5 inches. Across the mid-waist, about 23.5 inches. Across the chest, about 21 inches. The total front rise height is about 17.5 inches. The arm opening is about 10.5 inches. And for the sleeves, the top is 22, middle is 21, and then the bottom is 20 inches. The side rise height is about 7.5 inches. The bottom band is coming in at about 2.5 inches, and then the total back rise height is about 20.5 inches.
That this is about hip length when I have it open, but of course if I zip it up and put my arms up, it's definitely going to be more of a cropped look. This is my favorite item from this entire collection. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, it is very high quality, feels luxurious, feels like expensive streetwear. Like I feel like if this jacket was available from a major sporting brand, this would be easily like a $200 jacket. It is the more matted, like outside shell of Colorado, and then this side is the fleece side of it. So on this side, it feels, you know, nice and brushed. I feel like if you have pets, definitely going to attract fur. The pockets are great. I do feel like they look a little bit bulky, because you do have several layers of pocket here, right? Locking zipper is just such a nice feature. The structure of it, the Colorado fleece, really worked well with it. It holds its shape. I like how the neck isn't like folding over, not too bulgy in the back. And it is very like big arm friendly. And the length of the sleeves is actually pretty good. It goes like and covers most of, if I had all my fingers, it would cover like all my fingers. So I think it's a good length. So let me show you what the other side looks like. From this side, it's the outside shell feeling of the Colorado fleece. And then on the inside, I am feeling a little bit more warm because that's the more brushed fleece feeling side. I think the bottom, like being stretchy, absolutely obsessed with it. The locking zipper, it's just a really high quality jacket from Buffbunny Collection. Our fleece layer as the outside shell. I think you're going to see a lot of pilling, but it's very like micro, small pilling, so it may not be as noticeable. So this is my true size large. I think you could size down to a medium if you wanted it to be extra cropped. I actually ended up getting a size 3XL because I wanted to see if it would be a full length, especially for being streetwear. I want something that's a little bit more like oversized. Again, here is the large, hip length, and then here is the 3XL. So it's about almost 2 inches longer. Hip height, put my arms up, put them back down, and it stays in that length, but the sleeves are way longer than what they were in the size large. And in the back, it is definitely a full length. So you could probably pull it a little bit closer to your neck, so pull it down in the front and give you just a little bit more length. And I think again the structure of the fabric is going to hold its shape for this jacket. It's not going to like be flimsy, stay in place. I think the contrasting looks so good. My score is a solid 10 out of 10. Because you do have the versatility of the pockets on both sides, I'm okay with that little bit of bulkiness, you know, in the midriff area. I just think it's very well done. So I would highly recommend to get this.
This is the Threads waist zip-up hoodie. We have seen this before. However, we have never seen one with graphics written across the front. So it still features the inner pockets that are mesh, and I'm going to compare it to the Threads waist zip hoodie that we saw from the Summer Essentials collection. The Summer collection is just a little bit wider. The front rise height for these are going to be the same, and then the sleeves for the Summer collection one are going to be a little bit longer by probably about 1.5 inches. On the hood of the Summer collection one, you have an embroidered Buffbunny emblem. On the newer one, branding because you have it across the front. The back rise height is actually 2 inches shorter compared to the one that we saw saw from the summer. Fitting in the body about the same. The hoods are generally about the same, and to measure from the base of the hood to the end, yeah, they're both actually showing up about the same measurements. Branding that is like painted on any of the items in this launch are definitely a rough feeling like paint. So when I have it relaxed and on, it is about hip length, but then it comes up to like my mid waist, so a little bit more cropped for a baggy fit when you put your arms up. Because I have reviewed the Summer Essentials threads, zip up hoodie that is a little bit more cropped, I'm going to put all the details on the side and just tell you that it is definitely true to size. And when I saw this in the PDF, it reminded me of the Pussycat Dolls. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? I think this was kind of a missed opportunity because I feel like if it had graphics across the hood, I feel like it would have been very throwback. You're looking for a throwback and paying homage to 2016 and want to rep Buffbunny Collection, this is definitely the one for you. These are the new Flex seamless leggings. These are a little bit more of a straight fit, so not as waist snatching. They are made of knit intarsia pattern, and it is a lot thinner and stretchier compared to shape seamless. It feels knitted and a little bit more like thicker in its density, but it's a lot stretchier. This is coming in a beautiful bossy print. How the waistband is woven, where it has quite literally some contouring woven into it, and all throughout the waistband, just to give you a little bit of a subtle contour. In the back, a deep V contour that goes along with that deep V above the glute. An eyelet, double crotch gusset, silicone Buffbunny branding. In the glute rise, it's just a simple stitch seam. There is no elastic or any scrunch there. The bottom of the cuffs is like an invisible kind of sewn, but it's very stretchy. I'm going to compare these to the Miracle leggings, and the Miracle leggings are a lot smaller in the waistband and not as stretchy as the new Flex Seamless. For the front rise height, it is just about the same, and the back rise band is about the same rise height. For general measurements, the top of the waistband is coming in at 13.5 inches. Biggest part of the waistband about 15 inches. The biggest part of the hips about 16.5 inches. Total front rise height about 10 inches. The biggest part of the thighs is coming in at 8 inches. Ankle opening a little over 3.5 inches. Glute rise height about 5.5 inches, and the total back rise height about 10.5 inches. These look okay. I think it's because they run a little bit big. They're pretty stretchy, so I'm not really getting any tummy control. They're big overall, so minimal tummy control, but I'm actually not getting any camel toe, which is surprising. And I have thicker cellulite on this side. I think the bossy print does a pretty good job at kind of camouflaging that cellulite. Here it is from the other side. The glute rise is like medium, but you can pull it up and stretch it out to be more long bottom friendly. But these don't really stay up when you pull them up because the waistband is just a little bit too big and the fabric is just a little bit too stretchy. But above the glute contouring hits at a good spot where it's not squishing down my butt. Full length legging. When I stretch out the knee, you can just tell how sheer. The knit style of the seamless fabric is definitely a cooler weather fabric. It feels a little bit warmer compared to shape seamless, and it's interesting that even though it's woven and feels a little bit more dense, it definitely is more stretchy and more sheer. But I would say these are running large, so I would size down. But the problem is if you have a larger glutes like me, when you size down, you risk it being a lot more sheer in the glute area. So overall, I'm gonna have to rank these like a 8 to 8.5 out of 10. The first thing I'm not really crazy about is the sizing. I think they just run a little bit too big. The waistband is just a little bit too big, and I don't think it needed to be as high as it is because the fabric is so stretchy. Number 3, they are just too sheer, but I am happy to see a print. I believe this is the first time we're seeing a print in the seamless line, and I'm glad that we're having a seamless legging that isn't so enhancing as the Miracle legging. These are definitely more subtle, but yeah, I just feel like the fit overall is not exactly there for me. If y'all want to try a list that is a little bit more subtle, I definitely think these are the ones for you. Next up, we have the Siren Scrunch legging, which features a crossover waistband. It's made of poshnette fabric, which is warm to the touch, very brushed, stretchy in all directions. I'm loving this marled or heathered kind of print to it, and I don't have the other poshnette or Siren Scrunch shorts or bottoms, so I'm just going to compare these to the regular poshnette Scrunch shorts. And as you can see, the waistband is very similar. Thigh tightness is about the same. The front rise height is off about an inch, but the height of the waistband is going to be just a tiny bit different print in the front because of that crossover design. It has a silicone Buffbunny branding on the back, and it has an elastic in the glute rise. However, the elastic band in the glute rise, the original is a little bit flat and wider. It is about an inch shorter. Back of the waistband is about the same height. The branding is across both parts that cross over, but I think when you stretch it out, it's gonna look a little awkward. I kind of wish that they put it in a micro form, like written all over the top. That way it would have looked like a line going across the top. The branding is regular screen print, not silicone. Just going over the general features and the stitch quality, deep V, glute contouring, and this does to me feel a lot thinner and stretchier compared to what we saw in the Essentials launch. The crossover waistband is so flattering, it really snatches my waist in. However, the sides do roll down to meet the bottom of where it crosses over, but I find that happens with all crossover waistbands. This is pretty stretchy. Again, I think it feels a little stretchier and thinner. Minimal camel toe, a light to medium compression on the underbelly, fair to good in being cellulite concealing because of that kind of heathered, marled look to it. This is going to be long bottom friendly because of that elastic and the glute rise stretching out, so I think it looks really good on the glutes. Not really a big fan of how the branding is going when it's stretched out. And for the squat test with printed granny panties, I would say about a 9 out of 10. Stay true to size. I'm gonna have to rank this a solid 9 out of 10. The two things I'm not really in preference for is number one, the branding. I just think it wasn't executed super well, and then I wish the fabric was more consistent. It is feeling a little bit thinner and stretchier, but overall I'm actually a lot happier with these compared to the other Siren leggings. I think they look better on the crotch and overall. These are the Miracle Seamless leggings. We have reviewed these before, but I do think that there was a typo because the tags say scrunch, but these don't have any scrunch like woven design in the glute seam, and just like the originals, these don't have any elastic in the glute rise. So I think that was a typo. These are just regular Miracle Seamless leggings. Give your butt a butt lift, and they are made of shape seamless fabric. Just really quick, shape seamless fabric is woven in so many different styles that really give this legging really good dimension and compression and contouring all around the booty. The silicone Buffbunny branding, and I'm going to compare these to the original Miracle Seamless shorts. The glute rise on the newer ones is a little bit shorter. The waistbands are about the same. The original ones feel a little bit more compressive under the glutes. The newer ones feel just a little bit more stretchy. The new waistband is just a little bit smaller or tighter fitting. The front rise height up into the waistband is just a little bit longer, but then the waistband is actually a little bit shorter. So overall, it kind of balances out to be about the same rise height in the front. The older one has dyed Buffbunny emblem, and the newer one has silicone. And the crotch gusset design for both of these is just a little bit different. I will say that I do think the fabric feels exactly the same, under glute contouring just being a tiny bit more stretchy. These look super great in the front, so let's go over the details. Medium to high compression and support in the crotch area, no camel toe. Cellulite is camouflaged pretty well because of that ribbed woven style of the shape seamless fabric. The underglute contouring does dig in to my underglutes quite a bit more than I would like it to compared to the originals. Definitely shorter in the glute rise, so they're not really fitting my long bottom very well. I kind of feel like it's squishing my butt down and cutting into the top of my butt. They are pretty sheer. Definitely full length leggings on me, and they do roll on the sides, but that's pretty understandable because you can pull the waistband up to be a little bit more than ultra high rise. Overall, I'm gonna have to rank these probably like an 8 out of 10. And honestly, they're just not really for me because the glute rise is shortened. The under glute contouring is just a little bit too tight, slight rolling. I think Miracle Seamless leggings are meant for women who may not have as much real estate as me to really give their booties more shaping and like a lift and make it appear that their butt is a lot larger. So they're not exactly for me. I think they're more intended for the girlies with short glute rises and who might need a little bit more enhancement. But I'm glad that I got to try these out for y'all. I sized up to a size extra large based off of the last time we saw these from the Essentials like 3 collection. They were shorter, a lot more tighter, and I wish I would have sized true to size. It's hard to keep up with all of the different fit updates and changes, but these are definitely true to size. You can tell that there is not as much belly control or tummy control and compression. The fabric is bunching in the crotch area, but the cellulite coverage is good, especially with that bossy print, camouflages it pretty well. I'm so happy that the glute rise as well as the front rise height has been increased by 1.5 inches half. It no longer cuts into the top of my butt. I think it fits my long bottom pretty well because it is feeling thinner and stretchier, and with that bossy print added on top of it, overall it's feeling like its old version. So I'm happy about that. I would definitely stay true to size. These are running about a 9 out of 10 on the sheerness test, about a 9 out of 10. But overall, I'm super happy that these are coming back with the higher rise, or it's more original fit, because I think it's more size inclusive. So definitely snag these up while you can, and hopefully we don't see any more fit changes. These are the beautiful Sporty Spice pants, almost like track pants. They are made of spice mesh material, and these are fully reversible. Forewarning you that you can line up the holes on these so you can definitely see the color of my skin tone underneath. Very breathable and cool to the touch, but it is a heavy weight pant because it is doubly layered. Waistband has a wide elastic that is built in here with draw cords. It is very stretchy, and at the end of the draw cords you do have dye to match metal hardware, Buffbunny engraved of course. Along the side panel there is some contrast white piping, which is like a cotton-like feel to it. From the front side I think it adds just a little oomph to the design. That side paneling is actually a thinner like jersey fabric that runs all the way down the side. It is in the horizontal direction, but it also runs along and is doubly lined along the slit and bottom lining of the pant leg. So when you turn these inside out from the white side, it actually creates some nice contrast. It's stretchy, but runs a little bit smaller compared to the rest of the pant leg. This is listed as high rise, but when I tried them on briefly, they were ultra high rise, so these will fit at the smallest of your waist without pulling too much at the crotch. It has a Buffbunny Collection embroidered emblem. The pockets are big enough to fit my phone and then some. The pockets are also lined with the Sporty Spice fabric. However, be careful because it can definitely catch and snag keys or other things. On the back side, it's pretty simple. Pant legs are pretty straight leg because if I pull the bottom and compare it to the top of the thigh, they're about the same. On the flip side, there really isn't too much oomph to the design on this side. There is no contrast stitching. The only stitching that we see along the side is just holding the panels of the fabric together. Sadly, no pockets on this side. Pockets are only apparent on the black side. Again, that jersey-like panel on the other side will come through as like a contrast lining for the bottom. And that's about it for this side. And for general measurements, the top of the waistband is coming in about 16 and a half inches. The front rise height is coming in at about 11 and a half inches, and then the waistband about 2 inches. Around the hips is about 23 inches. The top of the thigh is coming in about 14 and a half inches. Bottom pant leg about 13 inches, and that slit length is a little under 2 inches. Total back rise height about 17 inches long. These are really cute and flattering. They do fit ultra high rise on me. There's a little bit of bunching in the crotch area because I do have them ultra high rise. I kind of wish that they had a little bit of pleating at the top just to not sit right on top of the belly. But if you were to fold this down, you could also get a contrast black and white look. Not going to be compressive on the belly. Again, a little bit of bunching in the crotch area. In the back, not really doing a whole lot for the booty. But I do want to point out, if you do have larger glutes like me, the black fabric is going to pull and it's going to almost look like you're wearing like a black thong underneath, because where like your butt crack is, if it's not protruding out, the fabric is going to appear a little bit darker because you don't have the white base pressed up against it. These are the regular length. They are about an inch or two below where my feet hit, but with the New Balance 9060s that have a bigger lip on the back, these are totally fine. They don't hit the ground. For the white side, these are pretty simple, chic, minimalistic. They don't have any pockets. There is no contrast piping down the side or like a side panel. The only contrasting that you really get is from the black waistband peeking through the top a bit, the draw cords for the waistband, and then the very bottom jersey kind of black contrast, but that's pretty much it. This is pretty simple side. Definitely stay true to size. I would not size down just because of like the white kind of showing through more and maybe being a little unpleasant on the belly area. We're intended to be relaxed fit. I'm going to put more details on the side, but overall I will have to give these a solid 9 out of 10. Number one, I do wish liner that ran between the two layers. That way you wouldn't see your skin tone or potentially the color of your underwear through these. And then the second thing I'm not crazy about, I wish there was maybe a little bit of pleating design around the waistband. That way it would drape a little bit better over like my belly, just to give it a little oomph to the design, but maybe I'm just being super picky. Overall, very solid basketball pant, heavier weight. I think it's going to be great for cooler weather. I highly recommend because of the versatility of different looks and the comfortability. These are super soft and very high quality, so I'm really impressed with these and would highly recommend. These are the Layers straight leg sweatpants, and it's made of threads fabric. So it is the lightest weight kind of cotton-like sweatsuit fabric from Buffbunny Collection. Barely any stretch to it. It does pill over time. So what really makes this design stand out compared to the regular threads pants is this double waistband elastic that is encased in this stretchy cotton-like jersey fabric, and it actually is stitched together with the elastic waistband of like the regular threads design. And this also features some Buffbunny branding on the back, definitely paying homage to styles from 2016. The straight leg pants are definitely straight leg, as the bottom cuffs match up with the width of the upper thighs. They're dyed to match metal hardware tips on the strings that are engraved with Buffbunny. I'm going to compare these to the threads shorts from the summer collection. And so the threads are just a little bit wider, and they are a little bit different in rise height because of that added waistband at the very top. In the back, we're looking at a couple of inches in the rise height difference. The waistband is a lot tighter and less forgiving, same width as the plush fleece straight leg sweatpants. These look super flattering. I actually really like the way that they look. They are a little bit tight or snug in the waistband just because you have the double layer of different elastic. They don't have a whole lot of give, but I will say I am surprised at the placement of the elastic band because these actually don't roll down. I think in the front they look pretty flattering. There's not like any bulging or a lot of gathering of fabric in the crotch area. In the back, these are definitely long bottom friendly. I'm not really crazy about the placement of the graphics and how large the print is, and I feel like if it was lowered, like below the glute, thinner and small, or maybe if it was repetitive, Buffbunny Collection, Buffbunny Collection, Buffbunny Collection, and like a nice thin line down the back, I think it would be a little bit more my style if it was more subtle and small print. They are a few inches longer than my foot length, but with sneakers on, they still fall just at floor level. So these are a little bit longer than I would like them to be, and these are the regular length. Because I have reviewed threads before, I'm just gonna go ahead and give the details on the side. But overall, I will have to rank these a solid 9 out of 10. The graphics and then the waistband just being a little snug. So I definitely think this is a great shaped, great fit of a sweatpant, just not crazy about the graphics. But if you want a throwback look and if you like a little bit more of a bold graphic statement, these are definitely for you.
My favorite items from this entire collection are definitely the bomber reversible jacket, because we don't get a lot of outerwear from Buffbunny Collection, and I think this is like the perfect streetwear jacket, and it's versatile, it's neutral, it will go with anything. You have the side with the stripes, and then you have the all black side, so it's really just a high quality, nice piece, but it's definitely cooler weather based. My second favorite item from this entire collection, the spice mesh like basketball pant, because again, more streetwear, so I think it's fun that we can kind of play up the recovery pillar and get a little bit more dressy with our Buffbunny Collection items, and they can definitely be styled super chic, so loving it. As always, I sincerely want to thank y'all for being here. If it wasn't for you, you're supporting me, I wouldn't be an exclusive athlete, so I truly appreciate it, and just want to say thank you. If you feel that it's fit to support me or continue to, you can leave a like, comment something nice, share, head over to my Instagram, give me a follow, or engage with me over there. I am going to be returning a few of these items for different sizes, so I typically will do a few like story updates on sizes if I exchange things. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can use my athlete code Lexi, Lexi, at checkout to save 10% on any Buffbunny Collection purchase, which also includes sale items. And that 10% goes to me as commission, and it's literally not just about, you know, the side gig and making some money. It is about showing the Buffbunny Collection company that I have support and that my support is growing. So I appreciate y'all for any of the support that you can give. And I hope that if y'all purchase anything from the 10 collection, 10-year celebratory Buffbunny Collection anniversary, I hope that you wear these items with confidence and just feeling a little bold, having wonderful neutrals that you can mix and match in your wardrobe, whether it be in the gym or outside of the gym for streetwear. And I hope that you represent the brand and understand that you are a part of a girls community of women supporting other women and just feeling good about yourself, because you should be confident when you're in the gym or on your fitness journey, no matter what level or what length of time you've been on it. So I hope you feel awesome wearing these pieces, and thank y'all again, and I will see you next time.